Hey everybody, it's me, Shaw360. I know I haven't done a video in a week or so, but I've just been busy. It's senior year. I had to shop for prom dresses. I had to put out senior announcements. I had all kinds of stuff going on for me. So yeah, I have been busy. I should show you Stevie's graduation announcement since we're thinking about it. I got a copy of it back here, but I have to be careful about hiding the info, but basically, this is her graduation announcement. It's really sweet. I'm very excited for it. But anyway, let's keep going. Uh, as you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about the fact that Isuman is playing chess in space. This man is so far beyond what K-pop fans could think about, what other executives could think about. This man is he was a wanted international criminal for a reason. This man knows how to get money. I wish that I had a sugar daddy with even a tenth of the entrepreneurial spirit that Isuman has, because this man, my God, the way that he fucking played everybody is phenomenal. Okay, so hey Sarah, I've done a few videos about the whole SM takeover, the SM sale, Isuman. I gave a backstory to kind of like moves he's made and some of the ways that he has been like stealing money from SM through all these weird corporate setups. But the last time we spoke, we talked about the fact that Hybe looked like it was really in a position to take over SM. And that would have made Hybe basically be the biggest K-pop company in the world. I mean, already they are, because if you look at sales, Hybe sells more than anybody else. But SM is number two and has been number two for a pretty long time. So with SM and Hybe being combined, literally no one would have been able to touch them. It would have been phenomenal. Well, let's get updated as to what has happened. So, to start, Hybe bought SM Isuman's, I think it was like 18.5% of the company in shares. They also gave him a bunch of stock options. They made him sign a couple of agreements in terms of behavior and selling other companies off. And then they put out a tender offer. A tender offer basically says, for a limited time only, we're willing to pay this rate for all these stocks, and the rate was like, I think it was 120 won. No, not 120 won. I think it was $120,000 a share for SM stocks, right? So the stock price was going up and up and up and up and up. Kakao, who had already invested quite a bit of money, was working with aligned partners, was working with the current CEOs of the company to try to take over the managerial reins of the company. They were like, no, bitch, you're not stealing this opportunity from us. And the reason was, and I didn't talk about it in my other video, or I talked about it very briefly, Kakao was looking for an investment from another company and they wanted to go public, and so they needed to have SM in-house to make another huge deal go through. So Kakao was like, we cannot let SM escape our grasp. We have to win this proxy war because we need to control SM so that this other company that is offering us, multiple billions of dollars will invest in us. So I think Hybe spent $350 million US on buying Isuman's share. And I think Kakao was looking at deals worth like upwards of $10 billion. And so they were like, this is a small price to pay for the amount of money we're going to get in investment. So anyway, they offer more on their tender offer. Their deal is so good that people are selling. And it's looking like Hybe is not winning because they're not offering enough money. Then we are looking at a shareholders vote at the end of this month on the 31st in 3 days. And Hybe had started a YouTube channel, Hybe with SM or SM with Hybe, something like that. They started a Twitter account, like they were doing all these things to try to convince shareholders to join the flock for Hybe, to vote in Hybe's favor, allow Hybe to be on the board of directors, allow them to be the ones in control of SM. Because they were like, if we can't get the majority shares, the least we could do is make it to where we're so substantially approved by people who could vote on the new board of directors that essentially will have management powers. Shareholders were not moving. They were not moving. They were like, give us more money. Hybe was not giving more money. They weren't giving a better tender offer. And that was really the only thing that could shake shareholders. And at the end of the day, Hybe realized we are not going to be able to buy SM. So would you like to know what's happening now? Instead of Hybe keeping to all of the rhetoric and all the bullshit they were talking about how they're going to make life easier for the artist and they're going to do really big things and they're going to invest in the company and it's all about music and art and a company like Cacao can appreciate art, yada yada yada. Hybe has decided they are no longer pursuing the management of SM. The SM stock price and the Hybe stock price have dropped drastically. What was trading at I think at a highest, I think at some point SM stock was trading close to 140K a share. It's now trading around 90K a share, which means that Hybe lost $30,000 per share, or not 30,000 won per share. But yeah, at this point in the game, Hybe has lost upwards of, I would say, $70 million, and they're about to lose more because with them not wanting to pursue management, for them not wanting to pursue a board director scheme, they're basically just sitting on a pile of devalued SM stock. Isuman's got his money. He's got his money. He's got his money. They're sitting on a pile of devalued SM stock with no management role, no board of directors role because they can't get the shareholders behind them, and now stock that has plummeted in price. Hybe was played like a fiddle by Isuman. I remember when all this stuff started, thinking that it is weird that Isuman's nephew-in-law would be willing to go against the old man. It is odd that they would drag family business into the streets because that's not very Korean of them. And I say that because Korea is a very filial society, so dragging your family business out into the streets really only happens when people are fed the fuck up, right? I'm beginning to think that this whole thing was an effort by Isuman, the CEOs of SM, and aligned partners to drive up the stock prices and get everyone to get the most money out of the changing of hands. I think Isuman was ready to retire. He knew that in order to kind of get the best deal, he had to kind of make it seem like somebody had the chance to really take over SM. And he knew that the offers he was getting beforehand were just not going to set him up the way he needed to be set up. And so that is the reason why he hemmed and hawed and backed out of certain agreements and stuff like that. But he's like, because I've been doing this in the past, no one's going to seriously want to entertain a contract with me. But if I can make it seem like there's a hostile takeover happening and I'm desperate to get out of here, and I can somehow manufacture a way to get somebody else to take over SM, then that's what I'll do. They generated drama and turned it into market manipulation. Basically, it is fucking brilliant. It is fucking brilliant. Everybody knew that Isuman was the boy who cried wolf. Every single time he said he was going to sell SM, he wasn't really trying to sell. Plus, they had all these deals with Isuman's different companies for the SM technical company and the SM rights distribution company and the SM foreign management company that Isuman owed in totality, that SM was giving all their profits to. And no one wanted to give money to buy SM as long as Isuman controlled all these other things. So they were like, we're going to cut off contact with all of his ghost companies, all his shell companies. We're going to do this, that, the other. They made it seem like a real revolution was happening at SM. And instead, nothing happened but Isuman getting fucking rich. That's the only thing that happened. It's amazing. And Hybe really thought that Isuman, formerly wanted by Interpol for tax fraud, Hybe really thought Isuman was going to tell them the truth, work with them, look out for their best interest, and help them retain power over SM, a company literally named after him. I don't know if Bang PD is dumb or if Bang PD is just too nice and too unassuming and doesn't have enough of the shark in him. But I wouldn't trust Isuman to wash my socks. I wouldn't, because I wouldn't trust him to come back with my entire sock. I would I figure he'd find a way to like pull the elastic out of my sock and sell it. Like seriously, the fact that Bang PD looked at a man with the record in history that Isuman has and assumed that he was a kindly old man just looking for a graceful exit out of the music business, baby, when I tell you, at this point or another, I think Bang PD needs to hire me. I think you need to hire me as either your girlfriend or you need to hire me as like a technical advisor, because I would have brought all of this up there. The whole time I'd have been like, why are we negotiating with this fucking shark? Why are we negotiating with this noted con man? Why are we negotiating with a guy that everyone knows is evil? Since when did we trust Satan? I would have brought that up the whole time. I don't know who was in his ear. But this is the same man who also has spent millions upon millions of dollars purchasing Scooter Braun's management company, purchasing the City Girls management company. He spent, I think, close to $1 billion on crypto, maybe $2 billion on a fucking cryptocurrency website, or is it a repository? What is it? A bank, cryptocurrency bank in Korea, the biggest cryptocurrency. When you, me, my mama, we all know cryptocurrency is a scam. It's basically money laundering. I know that for a fact. And this is coming from a 43-year-old woman who, at the end of the day, I don't have near the amount of funds or capital that these people have to play with, not anywhere close. And even I, from way back in the cheap seats, could tell NFTs, cryptocurrency, crypto coins, all of this is money laundering. It's all scam artist work. I cannot believe the amount of money that Hybe, under the direction of Bang PD, has thrown away on this shit. Even their own artists had to stand up at the board meeting and say, I think this is dumb. Don't sell no fucking NFTs with my fucking face on them. I don't want this bullshit. What the fuck is wrong with you? You are making us look like fools. You're making us look like con artists. This shit is foul. I just also like Hybe, they really need to address the BTS thing. And not that there's anything wrong with BTS. In fact, I really like Jimin's face. I think it's probably my favorite solo project that has come out in like a set of CDs that you could buy. I would say I still think that Suga's mixtape is one of my favorites, like full stop. And I think J Hope's Airplane is super tough and really, really good. But when it comes to like Jin's my astronaut, is that what it's called? My astronaut? Between Jin's astronaut, RM's Indigo, and J Hope's Hope in a Box, I think this is my favorite. I really do think this is my favorite. I like RM's Indigo, but I did say like about half of it was ballads, which really aren't my type. But I have to say, Jimin's Face, the only song that I don't like on it is what you call it? Set Me Free Part 2. That is the only song that when I first heard it, I was like, this song is horrible. This song is basura, hot garbage. But Like Crazy is great. I think the rest of the album is really, really good. But yeah, I think Set Me Free. I did the thing that I probably shouldn't have done, but that I always do with new music when I'm on the fence about it. If I'm on the fence about a new release and I want to have an unbiased opinion about the music, I always play the music first. Then I watch the music video. So I played Set Me Free Part 2 on Spotify in my car to see, like, is this song cool? When I tell you it was virtually unlistenable, it was virtually unlistenable. First of all, I've never in my life said I would really love to hear Jimin rap. That's just never crossed my mind. I think he's a fine singer. He's one of the best singers in BTS. I'd like him to continue what he's good at. Instead, we had to listen to him rap and him rap with that kind of like fake bass in my voice, that kind of thing, that yelly rapping that Korea loves to do. Like, it's really only found in Korea. It's not something we do in the US. And then fuck your ops. And people are like, he doesn't mean ops like opposition. He means ops like your opinion. Be that as it may, who wrote these lines? Why was this included? I get it, you're a worldwide idol. There's a lot of pressure with being an idol, so you kind of want to like do the bad boy thing. You want to do like, I want you guys to see me in a different way, but make it make sense. Let it be something that like is genuine and true instead of just like saying things to like seem like a bad boy. Anyway, yeah, Set Me Free, didn't like it at all. Like Crazy, on the other hand, I liked it a lot. I liked it when it changed pace a little bit. Like when it started out very R&B-ish, and then it became more poppy. I really liked the way his voice sounded in it. I thought the English version was okay, but because I heard the Korean version first, I really couldn't pay attention to the lyrics of the English version. I watched the video. I thought the video was all right. I wasn't impressed by either video, either the Set Me Free or the Like Crazy video, but yeah, I really like his project. But the BTS problem I was saying that Hybe needs to deal with. Okay, so I think when BTS first started getting super popular and when Hybe realized that most of their company's album sales came from foreign sales, they knew right away that they needed to diversify. I mean, that's something that has always been in their minds. It's something that the shareholders and investors have always been worried about. If something happened where BTS lost their reputation, if something happened where members of BTS were to not be able to perform anymore, if anything happened to stop BTS's trajectory, then what was there that Hybe could hang their hat on? Because they had other artists on the label, but no one had ever made the impact that BTS made. So, kind of the first thing they did is they decided, well, we need to TXT. That's where we need to go with that. Then they decided to start buying smaller companies, and they were like, maybe we can rely on Pledis and Source and some of these other smaller companies that we've absorbed to be the thought leaders of the industry, and we can make more money in that way. That's how we can diversify. Then it was, we'll pay Scooter Braun for his management company, and maybe if we can get into Western music, that's a way to make more money, even though Western album sales are nowhere near K-pop album sales. That is a fucking fact. Then it was, okay, we need to diversify Western because Scooter Braun's artists are artists that take a long time to sell, well, to make albums. Justin Bieber doesn't make albums every year like K-pop does. Ariana Grande doesn't make albums every year like K-pop does. So then they decided to go, I think it's is it 501 West, I think is the name of the company. It's the company the City Girls are assigned to. Anyway, they bought that company. But they've always been trying to think like, we have to do something to prepare us for the eventual loss of BTS. But I think that is the problem. Not the problem that BTS might be lost one day, because again, anything could happen. We're talking about 7 human beings. Anything could happen. I think that Hybe has been so scared of life without BTS that they've kind of done things as a reaction to BTS, and they've done things that are unhealthy, and honestly things that are not well thought through, and things that have been impulsive, and they've just been lucky that they haven't lost a supreme amount of money, because Korean investors have been very optimistic when it comes to giving money to Hybe. But at the end of the day, none of the things that they've done have proven themselves to be dramatic money makers, except for maybe the acquiring of Pledis. I have to say, buying Pledis was a good move for both companies, because Pledis didn't know what the fuck they were doing when it came to management, and 17 has made a mint for Hybe. But outside of that, I can't really say that Source Music's acquisition was a huge boon for Hybe. I can't say that Scooter Braun's management company has been a huge boon for Hybe. I don't think Hybe US has really been making the money or meeting the goals that people thought it should have. I don't think this cryptocurrency venture has made any money for Hybe. Like, there have not been a lot of things that have made money for Hybe that weren't BTS related. So like, they made a ton of money with Netmarble because they own shares in that, and the BTS games, the apps, all have made a lot of money for Hybe. They've made money with their collaboration with Line and selling all of the BTS merch for what is the little line? Same thing they're called, the little BTS friends, the little stuffed animals. They made a lot of money off of that. They've made tons of money off of merchandise. There's so many collaborations, endorsements, spokesperson type agreements that they've made, all off BTS. But they haven't really addressed how BT21. Thank you so much. I knew it was BT something, but my mind, I haven't bought a BT21 thing probably since 2 years after the BT21 line released. Like for the first year, I remember it being super hot. Now I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. But yeah, I feel like they have been so running scared about losing BTS that instead of trying to like figure out what is a solid way to move forward, what is the most careful way to move forward, to put the research and kind of like the actual think tank behind a way forward, they've just been reacting. Because, I mean, they made so much money with BTS that they had like this bucket of money just kind of sitting back there waiting to be spent. And they've spent it in the most irresponsible ways. And this whole deal with SM and Hype and literally counting your chickens before they hatch by doing all of the social media work, all of this is a result of them not planning better and being too reactive and thinking, well, SM's got legacy artists and their artists have been around for decades. BoA is celebrating a 20-year anniversary. If they can keep their artists that long, then yeah, we can make money well into 2 decades from now. But SM's got problems. SM's got real problems. And I don't think Hype looked at that. SM's biggest problem was that Isu Man founded SM. That literally is their biggest problem. Isu Man being the founder of SM makes any dealings you have with SM super fraught. Super fraught. He's a big neon warning sign. So looking at SM and thinking, if I could just get a hold of SM, I could make things happen. No, sir, no, ma'am. And so them putting out a Twitter account and a YouTube account and making videos and doing interviews with CNN and all this stuff, it was like, slow your roll. This, you haven't closed the deal yet. And maybe you're so used to people cheering every fucking move you make that you thought this would just be another victory lap for you. But if you really examine everything, no, it's not. It's not. And now Hive investors are looking at Bang PD like, this was a fiasco. You lost us millions of dollars. What the hell is going on? It's going to make them look at everything else that Bang PD has done and be like, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. I would not be surprised if Hybe USA gets pressured into being sold. And they'll lose millions of dollars on that too. Because me, I would have never given Scooter Braun $1 billion for his company. Not today, not tomorrow, not forever. I would have never done it. So yeah, I just I'm glad that, the old trickster still has it in him in a way because you almost have to admire how long the con has been with Isuman. But at the same time, I want to know, Bang PD, like, do you need some help? Do you need me to move in and like just give you sound advice? Like, let me help you. Because if nothing else, I can at least tell you what a regular person thinks about some of this stuff. That way you don't show your ass out there next time. I would have never advised you to get the Twitter account. I would have never told you to make the CNN interview. I would have never told you to put out the YouTube channel. Like, there's a lot of stuff I would have said. Don't do this. But you don't listen. And you're going to end up writing a check that your ass can't cash. So you need to be careful. But yeah, I want to talk about that because it has been, this whole thing has just been something else completely. And it didn't have to go this way. Everything could have been a lot more elegant, a lot better. We could have all been a lot happier with it all. And I think the thing that pisses me off the most about it all, when you get right down to it, Bang PD did an interview recently where he talked about the fact that Hybe was like drawing back from trying to get managing interest of SM, and he's like, the problem was BoA was having her anniversary concert, and I realized how much the artists were suffering while we were all playing all these media games and everything else, and I forgot that if it wasn't for the artists and the fans, K-pop would be nothing, and that really pisses me off. It pisses me off that he said that because the whole reason why he claims that he wanted to buy SM in the first fucking place is about the music and the art and the artist and how much he respects the artist at SM and how much A, B, C, and D and everything else. And him having that statement, he made the statement of like, I wanted to congratulate BoA as if he didn't do it, but he was thinking about it. And I was like, if you really cared about the artist, like if you really truly, sincerely cared about the artist, why didn't you just talk to them before you made this decision? That's the part that gets me every time. You had every opportunity in the world to talk to people. You could have taken Boa out to lunch. You could have taken Key shopping at the mall. You could have taken the NCT kids out for ice cream. You could have done anything in the world to talk to these artists and say, tell me what the perfect management company looks like to you. Tell me what direction you want your career to go. Tell me how I can support you into becoming a 20, 30, 40-year artist. All of that could have been done instead of doing a YouTube channel and instead of doing a Twitter account. That all could have been done. But that's not what he did. Instead, he decided to spend his time talking to an old man outside the retirement home who's shooting dice and calling snake eyes. That's who he decided he needed to get his advice from. And now wants to look back at it like, I made a dire decision. I wasn't thinking about the fans. I wasn't thinking about the artist. And you never planned to. You were never going to. So, yeah, I just Isuman wins. Isuman wins. There's no happy endings in life. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this live stream. I never get to use my business degree. Even though I work in offices, I never get to use my business degree. I finally get to use it today to talk about this whole situation. And, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I care about K-pop holistically. That's the whole reason why my channel is called Shawwell 360. I don't just care about Shiny because they're good looking. I don't just care about Shiny because they make fun music. I care about what their long-term careers look like. I care about their actual personal happiness. I care about them being in an environment that fosters their creativity and their artistry. And I look at K-pop in much the same way. When I look at K-pop, I look at it 360. I look at what the business is like. I look at the health and the mental fortitude of these artists. I look at the future of K-pop, I look at the past of K-pop, and I really do care about where things are going because I think this is a wonderful, wonderful form of music industry, and I'd like to see it go big places. I'd like to see it do big things. I'd like to see it get as big as Latin music has gotten over the years around the world. Now, it has more of a hurdle because not as many people speak Korean, obviously, as they do Spanish, but I want these things for K-pop. And because I want these things for K-pop and I don't want it to be seen as a novelty, it matters when companies decide to take over other companies. It matters when things start to consolidate. It matters when the industry becomes too cookie cutter and everybody's doing the same thing. Oh my gosh, we almost died during the tropical house trend of 2019-18. So, yeah, I think that I care a lot about everything. And because I care so much about everything, this whole debacle between SM, Hybe, Isuman, and Kakao has been majorly disappointing because this is a time when everybody, not just Isuman, but everybody should have been making money. This is a time when all the artists that have been putting their life into SM over the last 20, 30 years should have finally cashed in. And instead, it became this huge mess and made the whole thing look like a fucking joke. And for that, fuck you, Isuman. Once again, you wily rascal snake. Anyway, I'll talk with you all later. Thank you. Bye.